Hey everyone, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. A local entrepreneur took a chance when she started her business several years ago. Then she took another chance recently and it paid off again.
Plus, remember last night when we talked about mustard flavored ice cream? Well, we have a weirder ice cream to tell you about tonight. It involves hot dogs. Speaking of hot dogs, we're also going to talk about what our favorite toppings are. Hey, it's Friday, and this is News Center Now.
Good Friday evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Nelson. We are glad you're with us tonight. In the news this Friday, the man accused of fatally shooting another man in the Auburn Walmart parking lot made his first court appearance today. Gage Dalphonse of Auburn is charged with murdering Gene Fournier of Turner. Police say Dalphonse shot Fournier twice in the back following an argument. This is last weekend. According to court documents that were just released today, the confrontation was provoked over name-calling between Dalphonse and Fournier's girlfriend. Dalphonse told police Fournier threatened to kill him, claiming he was acting in self-defense. However, several witnesses say they watched Fournier walk away from the dispute as Dalphonse allegedly shot him right in the back. The judge ordered Dalphonse to be held without bail.
One of the teens involved in Wednesday's assault against the homeless man in Bangor appeared before a judge today. 18-year-old Liam Gagan was charged with assaulting a transient on the city's waterfront. He'll be held on $2,500 cash bail, and if found guilty, could be sentenced up to 10 years in jail. He's due back in court next month. A rash of recent shark sightings have closed some beaches on the Cape, on Cape Cod.
Yeah, yesterday sharks got close to some unsuspecting swimmers at the same beach in Wellfleet where a man was killed in a shark attack last fall. And in July alone, the group Atlantic White Shark Conservancy's Sharktivity app notified users of 120 shark sightings just around Cape Cod, and that number only expected to climb in the next few months as the waters warm up, of course, in August into September.
Ooh,
wow.
A little too close for comfort.
Wow,
we just had that sighting yesterday in Maine.
Yeah, holy cow.
I know.
All right, well, just stay on the sand. You'll be kind of safe, right, Keith?
Yeah, like I said, I almost can't imagine being deep enough in the ocean most times of the year to be bitten by a shark.
Right.
At least in Maine.
Yeah.
You know, the Cape, it does make it, you go on the south shore, that turn around the Cape's arm is a huge difference.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is
Especially
off the top of my head, but
too.
upper 70s probably, something like that.
Feels nice.
I'll check and
It's
get
not
back
like
to
a
you.
nice bath.
Yeah. All right, today, 85 again. You know, it's interesting. We talked about these fronts not being all that strong, not changing our temperature picture that much, and that's certainly the case today. 85 in Freiburg as well, 84 in Lewiston. A lot of consistent mid-80s, and right now we're still warm. 86 in Buxton and 83 in Freiburg. A little bit cooler along the immediate ocean here, but still mild in Millinocket at 84 degrees. And it's drier, though. It's more comfortable. So in the middle of the day, it's 85 and your dew point's 50. That's okay. It's still warm, but it's okay. And our dew points are going to stay low tonight and then try to creep back up for Saturday, just kind of a one-day thing, and then coming back down for the second half of the weekend. We really didn't see much in the way of cloud cover at all. A couple of showers over Aroostook County. That's about it. Most of us are dry, and I don't know why I zoomed into this part of the radar. It's not a planned move, but that's okay. Hour by hour forecast showing a couple of showers over Aroostook County. Overnight tonight is clear and coolish in the mountains. Tomorrow, off to a nice start. We are watching. The models are insistent on this little cluster of showers trying to hold together across southern New Hampshire and get into southern Maine late morning, early afternoon. So we'll keep an eye on that with the obvious implications to Beach to Beacon and other stuff. Most of us, though, guys, will be warm through the day and dry as well. So the weekend looking pretty good.
All righty, Keith, we will take it. Thank you so much. Now to some national news headlines. The Kennedy family is in mourning again, this time over the death of 22-year-old Saoirse Kennedy Hill.
Police found Hill, the daughter of Robert Kennedy Jr., dead yesterday at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. They say they responded to reports of an overdose. Local and state police are investigating. A statement from the Kennedy family said in part, quote, "Our hearts are shattered by the loss of our beloved Saoirse. Her life was filled with hope, promise, and love. The world is a little less beautiful today. We will love her and we will miss her forever.
Other stories we're following. A judge has recommended firing the New York City police officer accused of using a chokehold in the 2014 death of Eric Garner. Now, the judge found Officer Daniel Pantaleo guilty of using a banned chokehold, but did not find him guilty of intentionally restricting Garner's breathing. Garner was confronted by officers when they suspected he was selling loose cigarettes on the sidewalk in Staten Island. The fatal encounter was captured on cell phone video, and in the video you can hear Garner saying he couldn't breathe. Pantaleo's lawyer will have a couple of weeks to submit a response before the police commissioner makes a final decision on the officer's punishment. Yet another short-range ballistic missile test by North Korea today.
It's the third such test in just over a week. North Korea has been firing salvos of short-range missiles into the sea, but South Korean officials say the latest pair launched overnight appear to be a new type. They flew very low, just 10 miles high for 140 miles, and were exceptionally fast. President Trump, who has made outreach to North Korea one of his main foreign policy initiatives, downplayed the launches as small potatoes. And at an international conference in Asia, Secretary of State Pompeo said despite the missile tests, he hopes diplomatic talks with Kim Jong-un will resume soon. Finding one rocket launcher in someone's luggage is unusual for airport security officials, but finding two in a week?
Yeah, it's crazy. Unusual indeed, but it happened again just yesterday at Thurgood Marshall Airport in Baltimore. An Air Force sergeant brought it back as a military souvenir, and it was just like another launcher found in luggage at the airport on Monday. Now, even though the rocket launcher found yesterday wasn't necessarily dangerous, it wasn't allowed on the sergeant's flight home. The airport bomb squad is holding on to that device until it can be safely returned to the owner. They're also holding on to the one they found on Monday when another service member was flying home to Texas from Kuwait. Now, both men said they were bringing these rocket launchers back home as souvenirs, and even though they were in their checked baggage, the TSA said no way.
Not that you're planning on doing the same thing anytime soon. We did think this could serve as a timely reminder of things you can and can't take on an airplane.
TSA do's and don'ts. Okay, so we've established you can't take a rocket launcher. Not even checked. However, you can bring guns or parts of a gun as long as you follow the rules and check the firearm. But you can't bring any grenades or even replicas of a grenade like this one. You can bring any sort of knife or sharp object as long as it's in your checked bag. But you can't carry on a cane with a sword inside. You'd think that would be obvious, but no. Most household tools, yes, if they're in a checked bag. Carry-on chainsaw, yeah, that's a hard no. And when it comes to live animals, service dogs are allowed on with proper paperwork. Emotional support peacocks, that's another no, and you should know that. Just for good measure, here's a bunch of other crazy items you can't bring that, yes, people actually tried to bring these on board a plane. So in conclusion, if you have any questions about what's allowed to fly with you, call your airline. Don't assume, because that makes a out of you and me, and those can't fly either.
Good reminders there.
Yeah, there was like a scorpion there too or something. Don't bring scorpions on
Now I
planes
know
either.
not to bring the scorpion or the peacock.
Yes.
I'll leave those at home.
Leave them at home. Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, are you moving this summer?
A lot of people are, and moving always comes with major hassles, especially when it comes to moving electronics. We have some tips on how to make it easier for you next.
Are you moving into a new dorm or a shared apartment this fall? If so, we have some suggestions to make your setup a bit easier. Specifically, we're talking about your technology.
Yeah, maybe your children are. Let's start with your Wi-Fi. Experts say router placement is key. Often people hide their routers on closets or under furniture because all those cords can be unsightly. However, tucking your router away can lead to a very spotty network. Better to have it out in the open. Next, secure your network with a strong password. And if you're sharing an apartment or dorm, it might be a good idea to physically secure those devices.
You can actually get a cable lock for the laptop. Acts just like a bike cable lock.
Also, don't forget to plug everything into a surge protector.
Yeah, and if you run into problems, Best Buy has a total tech support program for $200 a year. You just call them up and they'll help you remotely. And other businesses have those too.
Absolutely. Still ahead on News Center now, we're going to introduce you to a Maine woman who has learned just how powerful music can be.
Okay, and will the nice weather streak stick around for the weekend? Keith Carson's full forecast coming up. A young woman named Kate Beaver from Gorham wanted to move back to Maine after living in New York City and graduating from NYU. She wanted to help others heal through the power of music.
She found there weren't many opportunities to do so, so she created her own. A jam session on a Friday morning looks like a lot of fun. And it is, but for 12-year-old Izzy, it's therapy.
Hello to the guitar.
An emotional experience, like laughter,
Nice to play you too.
is something we may take for granted.
Don't sit under the coconut tree, 'cause a coconut might fall on
Izzy can't find the words herself,
your ears.
but when she hears music, she has the ability to find herself. Izzy's mom says music is the one thing that calms her, excites her, and engages her.
A lot of people who can't speak can still sing, and almost everyone can find a rhythm.
Kate Beaver has dedicated her life's work to helping people of all ages heal through the power of music.
We're using music as more of a tool. So it's not always the most musical thing to watch. It's not all about just singing songs. It's about leaving a lot of space in between notes for people to fill in, and really addressing goals like speech and movement. Goodbye to the drum.
It's clear Kate's caring nature and musical talents are a powerful combination. But to be able to get here, to work with Izzy and others, Kate needed determination.
A lot of people told me it was kind of a crazy idea and I should just stay in the city and get a job.
After earning a master's from NYU, she wanted to return home to Maine.
Came back and there weren't any jobs, so I had to start a private practice.
In 2011, Maine Music and Health was born, her own music therapy business.
What's been the most rewarding part of this job for you?
All of it really. Every day is a little bit different. I love all my clients, and everybody has these magic moments in music therapy where you'll see somebody speak for the first time. I had a 45-year-old client who said mom for the first time to her mother.
45 years. That mother had waited to hear that word. And Kate, too, recently had a long-awaited breakthrough.
I saw this ad pop up and it was a business competition and I was like, shot in the dark, I'll enter it, and got through the final round.
Out of a couple thousand business owners, Kate did not win, but she did place, taking home $10,000. She'll use the money to train other music therapists.
Spread the love a little bit.
Spreading the love, one laugh at a time. And Izzy's mom tells me Kate's knowledge, expertise, passion, and patience has allowed Izzy to develop and be a contributing member of her class. At home, she says they have daily dance parties, and Izzy is learning to move to the music. Really special.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool hearing her laugh today.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's
so
great.
talented.
All right, Keith is here. We'll talk about the weather now. It's been a happy topic for some time now.
Been good, yeah. It's been keeping me not very busy. I mean, we had that one day where we had severe weather and we had broke the record for July.
Right.
And we used all our weather interest up in that one period of time.
Now no one cares?
They always care.
Especially when it's the weekend, right?
I think, yeah. You know, it's interesting because we haven't had many forecast twists either, so we've been knowing ahead of time the weekends look good, and so the suspense is minimal. Current temperatures in the mid-80s away from the coastline. It is cooling down along the coast a bit. That's the sea breeze. I'll show you that in a minute. Dew points are also lower in the 50s and 40s, and we talked about how this allows us to obviously be more comfortable during the day, but we had a Facebook user who said they got down to the upper 40s last night, and that's the other thing it does is lower dew points allow more of a drop overnight down to at least close to that dew point temperature. And so if you're 49, 50, you can get down to that if everything's right overnight. Again, not much in the way of cloud cover, a couple of showers over Aroostook County. If we zoom in on the radar is picking up the sea breeze. And it's funny because you kind of picture the sea breeze as being this uniform line, right, that comes out. But when you actually see it depicted on the radar right there, see that moving inland? It's more jagged, it has more nuances to it. A lot of that's just being topography blocked and whatnot. But that's where the sea breeze is and is going, and we can see it on the radar. All right, overnight tonight, temperatures drop down. Again, it's a little cooler in the mountains, 50s, perhaps 140 or 2. It'll be in Berlin would be the best chance of that. Tomorrow's a good-looking day, but there is a cluster of showers and storms again we need to watch here coming through New Hampshire in the morning and trying to clip York and maybe southern Cumberland County. I think we'll be okay, but it's going to make us a little nervous here through the middle of the day. Most of the shower and thunderstorm activity is out here into Quebec, coming down in the afternoon and then giving us a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures mid-80s, even some upper 80s away from the coastline, and a little bit more humid than today. Our front goes through, and then we're in good shape on Sunday. It's a little bit cooler, more upper 70s and low 80s around, but overall a nice day. And then we roll right into Monday with another nice day. I'm bored by this whole thing. The dew points do briefly come up tomorrow into the 60s, so you'll feel that tomorrow afternoon. Just a little sticky, nothing crazy. A little cool down coming too. Looks like late next week. Just watch the colors. Coming down, hanging up there, hanging in Canada, then coming down into a trough here. Now, if this was January, February, this would be a bad time. This time of year probably means highs in the mid-70s for a couple of days, so we shall persevere and survive through that, most likely. Again, looks good overall, just a scattered thunderstorm tomorrow, sunny on Monday, and you know, it kind of amazes me that we have now had such a stretch where it's such a popular vacation time. And you pretty much have hit it over the last 6 weeks or so. Everyone has been a reasonable one. There might have been some slightly better than others, but there's not one where, and I've been there before,
Yeah,
where you pick one and you're like, oh, I lost 4 days out of this, and it just hasn't happened.
No, it has not.
Very
It's
good.
been great.
These are the weekends and the weeks that when people come to visit, they think, maybe I ought to stay here.
Yeah, it's true.
But we earn our summers.
We do, and here's one only negative thing I could find. It was Jess's fault that Bangor's lost an hour of daylight already since
Have they
June.
really?
You had to bring us down.
Bangor has, but other parts
Well,
of
it's close. It's all within
Okay.
minutes of each other.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
Wow, that's
there's
great.
something.
Way to bring it on, way to bring it way down, Keith. Yeesh. Well, or Jess. I guess it was Jess's fault. All right, now onto this. This is going to bring you down too a little bit, or
This is
creep
so,
you out anyway.
This is so gross in my opinion. Okay, so yesterday we told you about French's new mustard flavored ice cream. Well, not to be outdone, Oscar Mayer is introducing new hot dog ice cream sandwiches. They're called ice dogs, not to be confused with a sea biscuit. They're made with candied Oscar Mayer hot dog bits, hot dog flavored ice cream, spicy mustard, and a cookie bun. And if you actually think that sounds tasty, you can go to New York City during the week of August 12th, and you'll just have to look for the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Yeah, I'm not interested in having one of those at all.
Thank you.
Candied little hot dog bits.
I'm about having the savory and the sweet, like at one at a time.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Yes.
All right, but I do like hot dogs, and as we connect the dots this evening, we're talking about hot dogs, and it turns out that various regions of the U.S. like their dogs in different ways.
We all know hot dogs as a ballpark staple, but did you know this all-American food actually originates back to the Roman Emperor Nero? Nowadays, people can't seem to agree on the best way to dress their dogs. So, what's the beef, if you'll pardon the pun? Let's connect the dots. In Chicago, they top their dogs with mustard and dill pickles. As for ketchup, well, they'll ban you from the city if you ask for it. People in New Jersey prefer Texas Red Hots more than Texans do. And Greek immigrants in Michigan have concocted a cinnamon-rich chili they call coney sauce. In Seattle, a Polish sausage is split in half and slathered with cream cheese and cabbage, and that's what they call a hot dog. And no matter how you relish yours, the National Hot Dog Council says we consume 20 billion hot dogs a year, about 70 per person on average. And that's connecting the dogs. I mean, dots.
All right, so
That's
what
good.
do you put on your hot dog?
I'm both ketchup and mustard, and when I lived in Illinois, I was
yeah.
ridiculed for ketchup on the hot dog.
See, ketchup, I would have done fine there because I think ketchup is gross. One of the few things I don't like. Mustard relish, a little sauerkraut. I'm all about the sauerkraut
there you
too.
go. Yeah, very good. I'd be interested to try the cream cheese out west.
That didn't sound horrible.
No.
No.
Yeah. It's all right.
All right. Let's take a break. Coming up, Unity College students have been doing this really cool research project. Oh, wait, this is for Cindy to read. Cindy, tell us about this
right out
really
of my
cool
mouth.
research project.
I will. But first I have to say that ketchup is just tomatoes, so I don't understand what your problem is
That's
with
a
ketchup.
good point. And you like tomatoes, right?
I love tomatoes. I just don't like ketchup. I think it's the
Well, you are weird.
sweetness of it. I'm not weird. I just like ketchup.
All right, so now we're going to get back to what Lee was trying to steal. Unity College students are doing this really cool research project. They're using drones to monitor lakes around the school there for algae blooms, and then they're studying how the algae changes the water quality. We're going to have much more on that and what it might mean for the rest of us. Plus, get ready to pay more for just about everything. President Trump says he is going to impose a 10% tariff on an additional $300 billion worth of goods coming from China, and this starts next month. Those stories and much more, all ahead in the next half hour. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Cindy.
We'll see you guys at 5:30.
That's the date.
Keith joining us with Brain Drops when we come back.
If you think this is disturbing, by the way, go to my Instagram and see my latest profile picture, and that
Oh, I haven't
will
seen this
take
yet.
you to a whole nother place. Okay, I have a really involved brain drops that we're gonna have to wait till Monday.
Okay.
That's gonna be really interesting, and this is interesting too. It's visual though. Let's show you this. I've seen several videos where hail looks like snow, but never one this convincing. In fact, can we
Yeah.
make it bigger? Here's the thing. I actually thought for a while that this couldn't be hail and somebody was just trying to get something to go viral. But a couple of things. If we had sound, you would hear this cracks of thunder in it.
Oh.
And the other thing is the foliage, right? Like if this was snow, you wouldn't have grass, you wouldn't have foliage everywhere. So this was a couple of days
yeah, look
ago
at
in Colorado. By the way, a lot of these hail videos like this are out of Colorado. You have any idea what that might
The
might
elevation?
be? Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, when you get thunderstorms that have to develop and say they're 5,000 or 6,000 feet high to begin with, then they go up into the atmosphere another 30,000 feet. Now they're tapping into very cold air, a lot of updrafts, and you can end up with this. But I've never seen hail look that mushy, like you could make a snowman out of it. So
Yeah, that is crazy.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Imagine walking out your door in the middle of, or the beginning of August and seeing this.
Better that than the ones that dent your cars up, though. So it's something. We saw the
True.
little hail down in York a couple of days ago, but
Yeah, people were sending us photos of it in their
I don't know
hands.
if we've ever had shovelable hail in Maine. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you'll have to look at that, but maybe
Another
some
brain drop.
damaging hail.
Dun, 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 dun,
After the
dun,
complicated
dun,
one Monday. All right, guys, have a great weekend. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.